I would like to start with a little story, Kutty story. I borrowed this from Bible. 3,000 years ago, there was a little battle. A small group of villagers called as Israelites. And there is a very, very strong and a formidable army called as Philistines. These Israelites are nothing but a bunch of shepherds. A very small village of 200 people. That's all. In those days, it is a culture, not only then, even today, it's a culture for the big armies to create slave units all over the place. So how this happens is, the big armies comes and challenges the small little towns or little villages, and if they lose the battle, immediately they become a slave of the larger army. So they come and challenge these Israelites and tell, hey, can you little bunch of dwarfs, can you come and win us in the battle? So choiceless. The only choice in front of those Israelites is to either become a slave or to stand up against these formidable Philistines. They all come together in two different war groups they are standing. On the one side is Philistines with all armory, with swords, with javelins, with spears, and a formidable war strength, and a mighty soldiers. On the other side is a bunch of ragtag shepherds assembled together with the torn clothes of villagers. Now you can imagine who is set to win. At this point, these little villagers are led by a king called as Saul. He has already given up. The entire villagers have given up. The bunch of Israelites have completely resigned themselves to the loss. They are going to be decimated by this formidable group of Philistines. At this point, when everybody is lost, everybody is defeated mentally, and everybody is completely shattered, one little boy, 5 feet tall, he comes there. And also, from the other side of the Philistines are so confident of their win. Just one guy comes forward and says to the Israelites, hey, you're a bunch of kids, you're a bunch of dwarfs. I don't need this whole army to decimate you. I am enough. Me, one guy is enough for you. Comes the guy who is 9 feet tall. 9 feet tall, full of armory, the largest sword ever people have seen, and a javelin and a spear. And he comes forward and says, if there is any single guy here who can win me, why do you need this whole army? If one of you can battle with me and win me, then we accept our defeat, is what he proclaims. The massive presence of this army and this formidable look completely puts the Israelites, shatters their mindset. At that point, when everybody has resigned to their defeat, one little guy comes forward, and he's just 5 feet tall. And he says, allow me, king, let me go and do this battle. I will win. Nobody believes this story. Nobody believes him. And they tell him, no way that you're going to stand up to this army. You're going to lead us to the defeat. At that point, he says, no, trust us. We need to win this war by all cost. All I request you to do is be with me. Just cheer me. Just be with me. Just let's do this battle and we will win. And he gets into the battleground with just 5 little stones. That's all he gets into the battle with a sling. You know what is a sling, right? Kavata. So that's the only weapon he takes, and he gets into the battlefield. And the other side, is that 9 feet tall giant with a big sword. He just runs into the battleground, takes the slingshot, rotates about his head, and then launches it. In a single shot, it hits the head of that formidable giant, and it hits the head and he falls flat on the ground. And the guy who fell down on the ground is called as Goliath, and the guy who waged that slingshot is called David. So you guys know all this story of the David and the Goliath. The story of Kaar is nothing but that of David, nothing but that of Israelites. So it's a small bunch of people, The only thing which we take to the war front is the courage, is the confidence, is the trust that we will prevail, and that is what has carried forward unto this war. Gentlemen, and that group of Israelites is nothing but this Kaar Tech and the bunch of Karis.